Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Okay, so the other day, me and Nader did a show together. And to be quite honest with you, it could have been much longer, but we didn't really have a lot of time. We just wanted to touch bases on a couple of things. Anyways, the video went pretty strong. It got over 6,000 views, so we're pretty happy about that. But there's a lot of good comments in there and a lot of good questions, so I definitely want to respond to them. All right, so let's get into this. I'll show you the receipts so you guys understand. It was explained to me by a very wise person that what we hold, the IQDs, are oil credits. Our currency will go to the banks, and then the United States Treasury, the UST, will use the currency to trade with Iraq for oil or other commodities. Thanks for Nader and your conversation. I stay grounded. I appreciate it. We are close. Have a good night. All right, Brian. So, yeah, I've heard that rumor before, but technically, if you think about it, I mean, isn't all currency some kind of credit? You know what I mean? No, it's not an oil credit. It's just a currency. And I heard that rumor before. It's just a normal currency is what Iraq has. I listen to Nader. Ain't got no time for a pimp. Well, apparently there is, because you made it. Pimp has no clue, none. Whatever you say. Many dinar holders go from channel to channel looking for intel. I just listened to John Dowling's summary, and he was incorrect when he said nothing happens in Ramadan. And for some reason, they are doing it early this year, in his opinion, to fit in with the prepare for April 1st. Kuwait RV'd during Ramadan in 1991. It's a simple Google search to check the date. Ramadan isn't early for some reason, and maybe to fit with its scheduling for April. It is on the schedule to its religion. Ramadan falls on every month of the year at some point, moving up by a few weeks each year, e.g. 2026 will be in February. And waiting says, it's a lunar showing, which is why it changes each year. Hebrew calendar is the same for the holy days. First of all, I don't know who said that Muslims don't work during Ramadan. That's incorrect. I know a lot of Muslims, they work during Ramadan. Over in Iraq, and they work during Ramadan. All they do is they have to change their working schedule to accommodate the hours. Now, the way it was taught to me, the fasting starts as soon as the sun comes up. And they are not allowed to eat until the sun goes down. So they're lucky they don't do this during the summer when the days are longer. Yeah, they work. They just change their working schedule to accommodate the fasting is what they do. But whoever said that they don't work on Ramadan is full of it. Like you said, it's a quick Google search. You can find out. Nader and Pimp's a good one. Thank you. Pimpy is saying that the lower denominations will make, for example, 25K IQD equals 25 IQD. That means when the new exchange comes, it will be 1 IQD to 1 USD. There will be no profit for the foreign investors, only would benefit the citizens of Iraq. Well, first of all, I never said that it will be 1-to-1 with the US dollar. What I was saying, that's 1-for-1. When you exchange the old currency with the zeros for the new currency without the zeros, they'll have the same exchange rate. See, so here it is right now. This is the value. 1 dinar equals 3077. Looks like we went up over here by one number. So 77, that's what it equals. That's just for 1 Iraqi dinar. And this is against the US dollar. So to show you how this works, you have a 25,000 dinar note. That will be its value right there at the current rate. So after you delete the zeros, you have a 25 dinar. You multiply that now times that 0.77 now, I guess what it is. 0.77. See, 1925. That's what I'm talking about. That's a 1-for-1. So the 25,000 dinar is 1-to-1 with the 25 dinar, not the US dollar over here. Excellent show. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Pimpy, you're wrong about the 3 zeros. Okay, well then, why didn't you explain where I'm wrong right after this? I don't mind you guys pointing something out to me if I am wrong, but you definitely need to come here and explain where you think I'm wrong. Pimpy, do you still think change will happen during the first quarter before April 1st, 2024? Yeah, you know, with everything happening the way it was, I really felt like we would see an increase for sure, and I thought that's why they were holding up the budget. Like I said, it was going to go up in increments. It's not going to be some huge rate, but I was anticipating some type of increase in the value. You know, hopefully it happens. We'll see, but I'll take any kind of increase. No notifications, missed the live, and took me this long to find this. Well, I usually put the recording up when it's done, so come back and check it again. But I enjoy your show. You use common sense concerning IQD. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Trump's executive orders also comes into play. What executive order? So you should sit in here. Trump's executive order number so-and-so comes into play. The only thing that Trump signed that's an executive order regarding Iraq was the way that our troops were going to be handled over there in Iraq. There's nothing else about any of Trump's executive orders that talk about Iraq. I'm predicting the exact thing that Kuwait did. Kuwait revalued in 1991 before the first Iraq war was over and the U.S. Armed Forces retrograded. So he goes on here to make a point about we leased an air base over there, which I'm not sure what that has to do with the IQD. Iraq following the same blueprint and being 25 plus times the size of Kuwait with 10 times the resources of Kuwait, going to be bigger if our government stops sabotaging the progress. So people keep bringing this up to me. So you guys got to be able to separate the differences. Okay, people can say, well, Iraq's bigger, they have more resources, their currency is going to have a better value than Kuwait. But I'm talking about where Iraq is right now. Does Iraq have the potential to have a more valuable currency than Kuwait? Yeah, absolutely. You're right. They have way more resources. As a matter of fact, I think, if I remember correctly, Iraq is in the top 5 worldwide for the most resources. So yeah, they have the potential to be there. They're just not there yet. You're silly and haven't done any research if you compare Iraq to Kuwait. Yeah, I try not to compare the two because that was very misleading. Do they have the potential to be bigger? Yeah. But if you're talking about the currency, you can't compare the two. There's a huge difference. So here's Kuwait right here. Most of Kuwait's exports have to do with gas and oil. In 2021, Kuwait was the world's biggest exporter of sulfonate, nitrate, and nitrosated hydrocarbons. Get the word out there. The world's biggest exporter. And if you're like me, you want to know what the hell that is, you can see the description right here. That's what they're the world's largest exporter of. So yeah, they have a lot more things to export than Kuwait does, but they have to get past these hurdles. I think they will. Where's Chris saying here? You have your opinion. I was there in 1991. Also went to work there between 2012 and 2016. The difference is night and day with the immediate RV of the Kuwait dinar in 1991 and the place being desolate with nothing but oil to offer. No, they got more than oil to offer, but Iraq has way more resources. You're right. With the RV of $326 for one Kuwait dinar. Okay, again, you can't make a comparison. I already went down that path and explained to everybody why it is that Iraq is nothing like Kuwait. Kuwait had a wealth fund that was set up, and that helped carry them a little bit. Not to mention, their currency was only devalued for approximately 6 months before it was reinstated. They didn't have to deal with hyperinflation like Iraq did. So their situation is a lot different than Kuwait was. You guys need to be introduced to Militia Man and Crew. He brings the receipts. No, he doesn't. He never does. He never shows any articles or links or studies at all. He reports only the documents that come from their government. No, he don't. That's a lie. He doesn't have any documents from the government. Come on, you guys all get on the same page. Leave your egos out the door. Oh, dude, I just like teasing them. If you haven't seen it already, I already responded to your comments in a video I just did. Eminem's biggest argument is that how can Iraq start these projects at an exchange rate of 1,310 dinars? Well, newsflash, they have been doing all these projects at an exchange rate of 1,310. Yepers. So if you go right here, it says Table of Historical Exchange Rates to the United States. Okay, so we'll start over here. This covers 22, 2019, 14. So every 5 years, going all the way back to the year 2000. So just know when you look down here, these are going to be the exchange rate. So 2000 is over here. Come down to Iraq. Here is the Iraqi dinar. If you go all the way back over here. So in 2000, it was 910 dinars for every dollar. Yeah, I'd love for us to be there now. 5 years later, it was 1,530 dinars for every dollar. 5 years later, you got 1,815 dinars for every dollar 5 years later. So you can see how the exchange rate has always been low, going all the way back to at least 2000 right here, up to where it was in 2022 at 1,459 dinars for every dollar. We're now at 1,310 dinars for every dollar. So look at all those years and think about this. This is in 5 year increments, okay? Talking about the railway system, right? Look at this. 53% of designs for Iraq's mega rail project finished. So 53% of it is already done. And guess what? They did it at a low exchange rate. The Grand Fall Port. The project was first officially proposed and announced in 2010. However, countless delays due to the conflict in Iraq and the blockade by cash shortage due to internal hostilities and low oil prices caused the project to be halted. However, finally in 2020, under Al-Qademi, launched the second phase of the port with South Korea's company. So in December of 2020, they launched the project. What is this? Iraq. Construction of Al-Fa Grand Port will be completed by 2025. Well, how can it be completed by next year if they can't start it with this low exchange rate? That's just it. They started the project and they're almost finished. And guess what? They're doing it with those low exchange rates. What is this? Iraq breaks ground on a $2 billion project to build new cities? Break ground means they're starting. So that was at the end of last year, which means they've already started. So here you go. China, Iraq begin construction of new city near Baghdad. Begin, not are waiting for, they begun. Iraq broke ground on December 29th on 30,000 housing units near Baghdad. So they're doing it with this current exchange rate. Oh, wait a minute. What about another big project? You guys remember they're building this huge, tall skyscraper right there. That's going to be the Central Bank of Iraq. The Central Bank of Iraq Tower. The Central Bank of Iraq had commissioned the Iraqi-British architect in 2010 to design the project and was presented in 2011. However, construction on the project only began in late when? When did it start? Under this low exchange rate in 2018, and it's scheduled to be completed in when? Supposed to be completed this past year. How can they afford to do these projects if it's at an exchange rate of 1,310 or even lower? So yeah, he's wrong. I've proven that a million times. It's a proven fact they overprinted, just like the U.S. overprints. Look at our debt. Who are you talking about? Iraq? Yeah, they did overprint during Saddam Hussein's time. So yeah, I would agree with you, but I wouldn't compare it to the U.S. The U.S. is the world's reserve dollar. So that means all countries have to have the U.S. dollar in order to do trade. Unlike Iraq, all the countries around the world don't have to have the Iraqi dinar. So it's a bad comparison. 2021 is correct, Nader. They reactivated the World Trade Organization's ascension process. Pimp is lost on zeros. How am I lost on zeros? I know when the World Trade Organization ascension process started. Never heard of increment? You never heard of increments? Are you serious? Remember, Kuwait was not even gold-backed? Pimp, educate yourself on Kuwait and Iraq natural resources of oh my God. That is classical. I just literally showed you that what increments are. With the rate of the Iraqi dinar, with 5-year increments, how they went up just a little bit, went down just a little bit, that's an increment. Oh, you guys kill me, man. Seriously. But okay, let me try to educate myself. You might want to do that yourself. Pimp, there is no SWIFT system involved here. QFS. You guys kill me. Okay, first of all, there is a SWIFT system. It's right here. The new one, not the old one, the new one launched in 2023. Here it is. The data-rich ISO 222 messaging standard for cross-border payments and reporting successfully went live on March 20th, 2023. Me and Jesus' birthday, March 20th. There you go. So there is a SWIFT system, and there's a new version that was launched last March. Out of all the people that are out there, I am the only one, the only person out there in the whole YouTube arena that brought you the actual quantum financial system computer. I made a video showing you guys and proving to you guys. I even put the link down here so you can go here and read about it yourself. This is called the D-Vantage. This is a quantum financial system computer being used in a bank over in Spain. Nobody out there can show you any proof of the hokey pokey QFS system that they're talking about. So you can come here if you want to learn about the actual QFS system. It's real and it's right here. So is it possible that Iraq might go into that system? It's possible, but right now they're going to get into SWIFT systems, what they need to do. You can't make up your own hypothesis? Okay, well, pretty much everybody is. March 17th of 2003, the original date the Iraq sanctions began from Bush. If they lift the sanction, they may do it on this date, which is the anniversary. Surprised you don't know that. So you're telling me they have the ability to lift sanctions and they are specifically just waiting for the anniversary just to lift them? No. They don't have to wait for the anniversary. Does that mean they're not going to do it on the 17th? Yeah, they could. So the only sanctions that Iraq has on them from the United States, these are sanctions against certain individuals and certain entities. That's all it is. And these people happen to be the money people who open up all kinds of, warehouse jobs over there in Iraq. And since they are sanctioned, their warehouses are just sitting there. Nobody's working. Nobody's doing nothing. You're not going to see anybody lift the sanctions on them because they use that money to give to terrorist groups. As far as the other sanctions that are on the currency, that's self-imposed sanctions. That means Iraq put themselves into sanctions. Is that why everybody's saying wait to the 17th? Good Lord. So instead of doing it on a 20-year anniversary last year, let's do it on the 21st anniversary. If you guys say so, I doubt it. These people, I swear, they'll find anything to make up. Oh, the 17th is going to be the anniversary. Oh, it's the end of the year. Yeah, it's Christmas time. It's the first of the year. It's going to be in the new budget. It's going to be the same crap that's been going on for so long. Didn't get notified. Love you, Pimpy. I love you right back. Thank you. Nader's cool. Not Pimplik. Thank you. I appreciate you chiming in. So give us good news. I finally finished my doghouse. I guess that's good news. This guy's dropping message after message. So these zeros come off the currency, then multiplied by the new exchange rate. 25,000 dinar is equal to 25 dinar multiplied by the exchange rate. Let's say the old price of 322. So yes, the zeros come off the currency. Yes, it goes from a 25,000 dinar down to 25. So yes, you're actually saying this right. And then you would multiply it times the exchange rate. You're absolutely right. So what part are you missing? But it's not going to be 322. That'd be crazy. So the current exchange rate for the Iraqi dinar, it's equivalent to 3077. Let's say they change it up to $3.22 like you think. So take $3.22 minus the current exchange rate. So you're talking about a $3.21 increase. Now divide it. That would give you a 4,180% increase in value. So if we went from where it is now at 3077 all the way up to 322, you are looking at a 4,180% increase in value. The largest amount a currency ever revalued occurred in January the 1st, 1948, when the Chinese government decided to revalue its currency, the yuan, as part of the efforts to stabilize the economy and recover from the devastation of World War II. This revaluation was carried out by the Central People's Government of the Republic of China and resulted in a significant increase in value of the yuan. So it's the largest, as you can see, the largest increase ever. The revaluation aimed to restore the confidence in the Chinese currency and to promote economic stability. The government set the new exchange rate at $1 for every 1.4 yuan, which was a 46.9% appreciation. The largest increase in value we have ever seen in the world is 46.1% increase in value. This revaluation was the largest in modern history, and it marked a significant turning point in China's economic history. So you're going to tell me that Iraq is going to beat China's record by 4,133%. So Iraq is going to smash the old record of 46.9% increase in value by 4,133%. Not going to happen. But at least you got this part right. You definitely got this part right. Good job, Jordan. How will this affect our investment with the ISX? It won't. You might see a slight interruption in the market, but it shouldn't affect it at all. And the reason for that is, if you go to the ISX, everything's already priced out in US dollars, not Iraqi dinars. The only downside to it is, if there's any, and this is a big maybe, we might see an interruption in the ISX for a small period of time because people are going to be confused about what's going on with the currencies. And so that might cause them to stop buying stocks or selling stocks, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. So that might interrupt the market slightly if it does. But for the most part, it doesn't do anything. It's already priced out in US dollars. Hey, if you're reading this, it's all about politics. If you and China will have all the gold in the world, want to get this done, change the world instantly, that's the facts. All the rest is just gossip like you're having now. It's all politics. What? I'm slightly lost there, George. And China doesn't have all the gold in the world. They might. Supposedly we do, but we haven't audited ours in God knows how long. But I'm not sure what you're saying there. Tish Washington said Iraq refused to join the WTO because of Palestine. Well, you're not going to find an article out there about that. That's false. As hard as Iraq worked to get to where they are now, to all of a sudden make it political and refuse to join would be shooting themselves in the foot. Hi PNN, looking for that $0.04 to $4 stock. That would be this one right here. Intelligent Biosolutions Inc. Its ticker is INBS. It was at 60 cents. That was in November of 2023. Just last week I checked and it's already at $4.65. Had you put a $10,000 investment on it when it was 60 cents, you would have made, after you take out your initial $10,000 investment, you would have a profit right now of $67,500. I hope that answers your question. What about a float? And inflation dropped drastically. Yeah, a float is what they're going to need in order for them to be on the Forex. That would be the central bank making that decision to change the exchange rate regime that we're on right now. It's pegged to the US dollar. And inflation dropped drastically. Probably since the Saddam era. Yeah, it's way down. As a matter of fact, they are in that sweet spot between 2 and 4%. Jordan coming in again, man. Loving your participation. Let's see here. They have other currencies, dude. Not just dinars, US dollars. First of all, who has other currencies? Iraq? US? Yeah, they both have other currencies. What about it? You guys leave these comments like this and you're not explaining yourself. So what about the other currencies? What's the point you're trying to make? I don't get it. Dirty souls. What percentage of dinars that have been removed from the overall total? Well, in that one article where they were taking $1 billion to $1.5 billion out, it said they took somewhere in the neighborhood of about 72% of the currencies out of circulation. But the truth of the matter is nobody knows right now. According to Frank 26, it's 92%. Well, think about your source. It's not according to Frank. It's according to articles. There's no articles out there, none whatsoever, that Iraq has removed 92% of their currency in circulation. Because somebody else brought that to my attention. I didn't get the information from an article. I got it from Frank, who got it from an article. Well, Frank didn't get it from an article. Thank you for getting me grounded. You're very welcome. Oh, here comes the money again. Pimpy don't know anything. No, but I know what. I went to school with him. He was a little Asian dude. What Chain Dang. I'll never forget because he had a weird first name. And you do. There goes Uncle Long. I love it. No, the money don't. She just likes to come in here and troll, which I don't mind because I know she's one of Eminem's minions. Here comes Jordan again, man. He's trying to get the record here. You talk too much. That's the whole purpose of the video, so you can talk. Judging from all your posts, seems like you talk too much as well. Yeah. Bob the Wheeler, is that what this is? So basically, if this even happens, it's years down the road. It's time to spill the beans on the truth. No more BS. So, you don't want no more BS? All right, here's the deal. When you say years down the road, do you mean like 2 years or 20 years? There's a big difference, so you got to be a little bit more specific. I think it's going to go up in increments. I think it's going to take time. We see that Iraq's doing everything they need to do to rebuild that country. If they can keep on the track that they're on, like I said, you're going to see it go up in increments. It just depends on what type of exchange rate you're trying to meet. It just depends as long as there's no drawbacks and all these projects start getting completed and people are back to work and they are back on the SWIFT system. They're back on the Forex. There's no more sanctions. Yeah, then it won't take long at all. Dude, the IQD will never revalue. Just look at the dong. If any currency should have revalued, it would be the dong at least 5 years ago. More to a legitimate currency. Vietnam doesn't have any of the issues that Iraq does. They choose to keep their currency devalued because they're mostly an export country That's why they manipulate the currencies. So people will buy their goods from over there in Vietnam because they're much more cheaper. People open up companies over in Vietnam because the labor is much more cheaper. Although they might be a legitimate investment, the big difference between them and Iraq is Vietnam is purposely trying to keep their currency down, where Iraq right now is mostly an import country, so they would want to increase the value to help themselves out. Pimpy, you actually sound quite intelligent today. Well, I appreciate that. I have my days, I guess. Vietnam exports everything. It wouldn't be smart to be expensive. Yep, there you go. I made videos talking about that. How can you build for current exchange rates of 320? Guys, y'all are wasting our time. Get real. How can you build for a current exchange rate? Well, whatever they did, they're there now. So I'm not sure what you mean by build the current exchange rate. 21 years I've been hearing BS like that. Yet here I am waiting. I know, Stan, there's quite a few of you that have been, so I apologize. It says 21 years and they haven't started reconstruction yet. So are we still waiting? No, reconstruction started. We'd like to see it at a much, much larger scale. But they have started reconstruction. That's why I keep showing you all these projects that supposedly will never start with the current exchange rate, even though a bulk of them are either done or have already started. Pimpy, learn how to speak normally. It would help your credibility. What do you mean by normally? This is how I talk. Anyways, I just wanted to come back and just respond to your comments. I appreciate you guys chiming in. Jordan, I appreciate you chiming in at least 50 times. So there you have it. I just showed you guys all the articles showing you that some projects are done, some have already been started and are almost done with the current exchange rate, or exchange rates are even worse than the current one that they have. Anyways, I appreciate you guys chiming in. I always look forward to your comments, and I'll get back at you later. I'm out.